just about ready to get started here. For the first time of the day, Shogun, Oxygen against Karmine Corp. This R2 is having a little bit of a connection issue. Seems like it has stabilized for him. And away we go.
So, series has begun. Best of 7, and we have got ourselves underway with game number 1. Everybody at home, looking forward to this matchup as we have only just got started for the very first time. We do see Vatira looking to try and take over the play. Rise immediately there. Obviously plenty of history between a lot of the interpersonnel between these two squads. Actually, a lot of good challenges from Jorius. Brings Rise back into the play, wins another challenge. There's nothing quite workable from those positions for Oxygen, but they are having good looks at the play right now. The difficult thing is, though, Johnny, is once Karmine Corp are set up defensively, I was going to say they don't tend to make mistakes, but thankfully I didn't finish that sentence.
Yeah, that was a big whiff by Exotic. He had boost and he simply missed, so pressure getting to him a little bit. I mean, Oxygen came out quickly here, so Karmine Corp know they're going to need to be quick to the ball if they can even just match them for speed. Oxygen's such a quick team, such a mechanical team. This is the best chance of the game yet. Rise not able to knock it fast enough. Denied by Vatira. That's a big double commit by Oxygen. Well, they're the faster team out of the gate, but definitely racing each other to the ball as well as racing their opponents.
Actually gives a little bit of breathing room now for his team. That's real time in case he have managed to put forward anything offensively. Vatira will keep it alive for now. Rise taking his time, realizes he's got some space to work with. Takes out one player as well. Archie waiting in the midfield. Rise instead chooses to go solo. And the heavy touch taken over by Vatira, who had a heavy touch himself. Able to scramble for the ball. No real attempts just yet for the outplay. Both teams happy to engage in this duel.
Oh, wow.
Trying to find little gaps and almost managed to get one there.
That was great vision by Rise. Vatira coming from his blind spot to try and bump him. Rise saw it coming, or heard it coming perhaps, and was able to keep control of the situation. Karmine Corp starting to in a bit more territory now. They've survived the early push by Oxygen, and now here they go, looking for their opening goal. Rise once again able to read exactly what they're doing. Oh, what a 50-50 by Itachi. Vatira's there to slot it far down. And it's Karmine Corp who opened the scoring. Masterful center ball from Itachi to set it all up.
Nice. Such a good shot. How on earth he's managed to avoid Archie's car and just dip it underneath the crossbar. Incredible play from Karmine Corp. Despite being up against it in the opening few moments, they have managed to rally and not concede whilst they did it. Now we're back with Karmine Corp having to try and stop the oncoming onslaught from Oxygen. Although that maybe is too no. To Archie. Realised no support around. Exotic gets rid of another one, but kind of sweeps himself up along the way. Being played at a frantic pace on both sides. And there's a Rise backflip. Well, it's been a while since we saw a Feels backflip man at this sort of level, but there is one that is going to hurt massively.
Oh, and yeah, it's definitely a savable shot. I mean, Rise knew he needed to get up quick for this. He did need to fast aerial, no doubt about it. But not like that. That's a massive misplay by Rise. I mean, you know, starting to think perhaps Vatira might be in his head a little bit. It was, I think, Vatira who is looking like the dominant force in all of the online KC versus Moist matches that we saw last split. Rise couldn't produce the same level of dominance that he did previously playing alongside Vatira. And yeah, Vatira just continues to play on forward. He looks like the player running the show here. Exotic get a bit of a nervy start for Karmine Corp, but now he's stabilized. And you know, more needs to be said about Itachi these days as well. So underrated. What a save there by the man himself to deny Rise. Redeeming himself for his earlier mistake. Jorius might be through here, you know. Oh, denied again by Itachi, who's putting up work at both ends. Archie dropped down again, denied by Itachi.
Well, it was Vatira yesterday that said on social media that his teammates were the ones that are outperforming him. Now it is everybody from KC stepping up, as they tend to do on Championship Sundays. Only a minute away. Oxygen, still 2 goals down. Not through a lack of trying. They've had some wonderful opportunities present themselves. None of them have gone in. Jorius No one in front of him. That's straight to Vatira. He'll be so happy to receive a gift like that. Now running it back over for the 3-0.
Whoa.
Off the backboard. Rise had to make contact. 40 seconds. Still 2 goals for better.
Yeah, what a game for Karmine Corp. What a start for KC. Been the more consistent team, definitely, but they've also been peaking. Here's Itachi with the double downwards. It's denied. They're sitting pretty at 2-0 nonetheless. You know, I think we just have to, again, praise Itachi for what a wonderful game he's played here, creating the opening goal and then defending brilliantly in very tough positions. I think overall this split, he has rivaled Vatira at times. Vatira, in the minds of most, the best player in the world, but Itachi is right up there. This guy has been in incredible form. You know, yeah, Vatira says himself Itachi's underrated. I think I agree. Exotic makes it 3 here. Now, it was already over, but no goals for Oxygen in game 1. Bit of a flat game overall after a promising first minute.
Yeah, Tachi, I feel, has just been caught on the fact that he's not really made that many moves. He's the one that was still the holdover from last season's Karmine Corp roster. So when you do see the new players coming over towards him, and you know they're going to be the ones that kind of get the spotlight on them instead. But for Karmine Corp, what a world-class overall performance. Sort of everything got shown by that team. Defensively, they were forced to really, really stick with it for the opening 2 minutes. Once they got up and rolling, there wasn't really much that was going to stop them. Now Oxygen, we already get worried. We've had so many series this season now, Johnny, where the series just gets over and done with so quick. Oxygen needs to answer back very quickly here because, yes, best of 7, that will go away so quick.
Yeah, it's all about this second game. They haven't called a timeout here. They're just going to get straight back to it. And that's, I think, fair enough when you've got a second goal of the game just off the back of a massive defensive blunder from Rise. Pretty easy to see where this game went wrong. It's all about that big mistake, doubling KC's lead. Very difficult to come back against KC from 2 goals down. If Oxygen can just avoid those big mistakes, then they should be able to continue to match KC pretty evenly. Vatira denying Rise an opening goal. And look at Itachi's rotation. They're straight back towards the ball. He wanted to be active in the position. Didn't want to leave Vatira completely by himself. He cut off any potential follow-up.
The question is going to be, how do Oxygen consistently break that defense of KC? They tried everything in game number 1. It didn't work. They had golden opportunities and still Itachi was there to just take it away at the final moment. Right now, they just got to focus on getting that first goal. Worry about the rest of them later. Itachi moves in. Look for the second touch. Just ran out of boost at the worst moment. It's going to be horrid, though, and it's certainly getting worse for them. Vatira hooks into the far side. Doesn't want to continue playing the ball. Back to Exotic. Itachi. Whoa, that was early. And now Vatira can move in. This is offensive pressure mounting now for KC. It does go away. That midfield belongs to the blue team.
Yeah, you know, maybe at times last split, and definitely in the minds of many, KC playstyles pretty much just wait for Vatira to do something, but it couldn't be further from the truth these days. Just look at how efficiently Exotic and Itachi are taking Oxygen players out of the game. Look at how often they're able to knock the ball past 1 or even 2 players, and when it's Oxygen coming at them in the other direction, every Karmine Corp car is just so difficult to get past. That is why Karmine Corp are such a good team. They just get very efficient, 1 for 0 trades, 2 for 1 trades. That's a big play here by Jory as he fakes it, drops over Archie. KC are a bit stagnant in the challenge here. Double commit, not going to result in a goal against them. Just yet. Oh, it will now. Surely Rise is there for it. What a pass to just go straight towards Rise, who is stationary waiting in the middle.
A couple of bumps as well, just shoved away Exotic. Go away. I'm going to put this one into the back of the net. And yeah, for the first time, KC forced a panic, and it was a complete slowdown on the pace of the play. Archie might actually be able to move across. They're going to need more moments like that one. Just playing the ball to the far side. Could already see nobody was available to receive it. Just didn't want to allow the easy clear for KC, who are going to be chasing this one. Drops down nicely for Vatira. Could continue playing it afterwards. Oh, a couple of players out. Vatira turns. He's not going to have support for a while, but he can buy his team some time. He's done incredibly well. Where's the follow-up? Here comes Itachi. Back down off the backboard.
Oh, my.
And that is off a dogged performance from Vatira to keep this going.
Vatira's completely alone up front because both of his teammates are respawning from demos, but he kept the ball alive. He kept the play active. And Itachi opting for the high shot, avoiding the pre-jumping defender, leaves it wide open for Exotic. Full team play for Karmine Corp to tie the game. All Vatira there just continuing to deny the clears that Oxygen were going for.
Oh, pass to Rise. I don't think the shot was quite a target. Now another pass. Rise skims past the ball. We were talking earlier on that KC is not Vatira 1v3. That one, yeah, okay, that one was Vatira 1v3.
Oh, yeah, he still does it. I mean, this is why everyone thinks he's the best player in the world. He can do this. It's just Karmine Corp don't really rely on that anymore. I think Itachi's had a real impressive split so far. He has been a playmaker, and Exotic is really gaining in confidence with every passing week. You know, you're going to get those Vatira 1v3 plays, but you can't rely on them in the modern day. You can't just rely on them to do that every single game. And Karmine Corp don't rely on him to do it every single game. The whole team showing up for the attack there, having faith in Vatira to keep the ball in the opposition half. Yeah, Oxygen looking a bit confused as to how to get the ball past these guys once again.
I've done it once. You're going to have to do it again. KC recognizing the danger of Rise loitering. On the ceiling now, there's always just two, and you're never quite sure which way they're going to take the ball. Although this was the position that they caused chaos last time around. Slowing the play down in the corner. Have they done it again?
Oh!
Yes, they have! Archie, silky smooth!
What's a goal by Archie? That's come out of nowhere. Exotic didn't see Archie cutting rotation. Vatira and Itachi not ready for the immediate shot. So great little rotation there from Archie, just round in a circle. Exotic probably expected a different player to be coming in. That's why you can always think about ways to cut back into the rotation early. If you can make a play on the ball, why not? Especially when you got mechanics like Archie does. Perfect recovery to set up the goal.
KC need it back again. Oxygen are finding answers. And maybe are starting to spot a weakness in KC. Jorius, not the best first touch. Second one helps a little bit. Not where he wants to see his team, especially with extra touches coming from KC. Been so long. Oh! Keep it out. But KC just won race after race to the ball. They were going to do something with it, and Exotic certainly did.
I think both teams have just done such a great job this game of playing the awkward touch in offense. It's not always about hitting a hard shot on target. It's not always about getting a clean out play. Sometimes just putting the ball in a difficult to deal with location can be just as effective. And you know, Oxygen have done that earlier in the game. Now Karmine Corp have done that as well. Both teams have been very difficult to clear the ball through for large parts of this game.
Oh, Itachi! Oh, Itachi! Incredible!
Who said all they do is wait for Vatira to 1v3? That's a triple from Itachi. One bounce to the ceiling, one bounce to the back wall, ball's in the back of the net. And one explosive move as well. Oxygen did not see it coming. And now with 22 seconds left, they're trailing by 2.
Oxygen just got hit by a bust, and now they have to recuperate and get this goal back, or they will be 2 down in the series. Rise, who's he got to help him out? There's nobody there. Time ticking away. Archie goes to his own corner. Itachi still taking over. Has he got another goal in? And they don't need it. Still might take it. But the ball keeps alive. And there it goes.
Oh, it's got to be a timeout, surely. That just has to be a timeout for Oxygen. They are
bad.
up against it.
I feel tilted.
2 games in a row, and indeed, they have called a timeout. Yeah, can't blame them. It just looks extremely difficult for them to defend against Karmine Corp right now. Karmine Corp are playing so awkwardly. They're 50-50ing brilliantly in the final third. They're just popping the ball into awkward locations that aren't natural for Oxygen to deal with. You know, Oxygen haven't been able to play at their pace that they love to play at. They haven't been able to up the speed and just keep flowing freely as they do when they're peaking. It's just been an uncomfortable series for them overall, and Itachi completely steals the show with an unreal end-to-end triple tap to clutch it up for Karmine Corp. After, I think they had a couple of awkward moments in defense as well this game. Your credit to Oxygen, they made it close. Karmine Corp just look like they're continuing to do what they've done all season. They've yet to miss a grand final regionally. They don't look likely to do it today.
Whenever we get into these sort of series, there are a lot of things that we can look towards and say, okay, these are the little differences between these two teams. But there's always a baseline that we look for, and that is speed and winning the challenges. Karmine Corp are winning both of those right now, and they're winning them pretty convincingly. And you look at the talent over on Oxygen, you see the names like Archie, like Jorius, and you think, these guys have incredible 50 games, Rise especially on this.
Yeah.
And they are not getting anything from it. The names that this KC team are beating in both pace and in challenges are ridiculous to be beating them this well at.
Yeah, if you ask many people in the Rock League scene at the start of the season who are the best 4 players in this lobby, I think a lot of people would say Rise, Jorius, Archie, and Vatira. Just one player from Karmine Corp in the whole Oxygen roster. But it's actually an Exotic have just been such effective players. It's actually not just with the efficient plays, but also the outplays. And Exotic just being that third man who's just happy to do the dirty work. He doesn't care about making the highlight reels. He doesn't care if he's going to have the most flip resets per week. He just 50-50s the ball through you. He just goes for these little single jumps into the ball, because why make things overly complicated when the simple gameplay works in the current meta? He's one of the pioneers and one of the players at the forefront of the bot Fennec meta, ladies and gentlemen. If there's one pro player that you can't emulate in your own ranked games, your low-rated ranked games like me, it would be Exotic. He does the simple stuff better than 99% of pros.
And for a lot of the championship winning teams that we've had over the past few years, they all have that style of player. You look towards your Exotics. Look towards, a lot of what BDS did during their time at the peak.
He's the extra of this team. And what extra was to BDS, that is what Exotic is doing for Karmine Corp, are trying to do. Just be the glue. Bring the best out of Vatira and Itachi. When you get this much talent on the roster, when you're all on the same page, you don't need to make everything flashy. In fact, it's better not to. It's actually
sometimes
pulled another goal out of nowhere. Well, he managed to get the race one, and this one rises in the area. Pre-flip from Itachi to beat him to it.
It's disrespectful. Just outright. KC do not respect anything Oxygen are doing. And why not? You already know that the last game would have rattled Oxygen. So don't let off the gas. Infield pass. Double up.
Well, this timeout doesn't look like it's worked out too well. It's just more of the same. Karmine Corp, off the back of a fake shot from Vatira, get their second goal. Itachi is on fire. Everything he touches turns to goals right now. What can Oxygen do from this point? It's gone from bad to worse. Can they get a game even, might be the thought right now. It doesn't look likely. Vatira's made it 3.
Liquid, if you're watching, this very well could be the team that you're playing against. Might be looking too far into the future on that, but Oxygen will need a historical level up in what we've seen from them. It's got worse. This is the anti-timeout buff. I've not seen this sort of thing happen coming off a timeout.
You know what the clue was today is just how calm Karmine Corp were in the pre-game. It might be reading too much into it, but they just look so calm on camera. They look so calm sitting next to each other, about to play a semi-final, which, should be a high-pressure situation. They've got a streak on the line here, grand finals streak, but they just look so composed. And, it look like they're just really enjoying the moment. It doesn't look like Oxygen are having a good time right now in comparison. Vatira looking to bump Jorius, who dodges nicely to keep the scoreline at just 3. But Archie's missed again, and it might be 4. Oh, not quite. Rise being very careful there not to own goal. The good news for Oxygen is that they've lost 3 goals so quickly. They do have a lot of time to work with here still. That's a long way back. Step 1 would be to stop Karmine Corp from adding to their tally. It seems like Oxygen have done that for now.
The bad news here for Oxygen is there is a lot of time left in this game, and it could even get worse. We will find out. 3 minutes left on the clock. Still yet to see Oxygen put anything together for themselves. This might be it. Jorius, bouncing shot. Exotic goes up to meet it. And this pace discrepancy has been more pronounced than ever in this game. is sort of the very first thing that we look towards. Infield pass. Oh, I love this. Oh, that was so kind. He just stood there. He knew what the end play was. Do not dance to the puppet mastery that happens before it with the passing. You don't need to follow those. You just need to know what the end goal is going to be and cover that.
Yeah, you know, I absolutely love that Vatira did not pre-jump there, because there's so many teams, so many players at the top right now who would have pre-jumped there, assuming the shot's going high, and then looked really silly as the ball goes right under them on a low shot. So great job, Vatira. You know, he's covering the easy option. Of course, he can still react from that range to a high shot. So yeah, if it's the top corner shot and you've stayed on the ground, fair enough. You think you just say well played at that point. But there's nothing worse than seeing a low shot roll underneath a pre-jumping defender, which we have seen a lot recently, all around the world. Vatira showing you don't need to do that. Actually, just saving your jump, saving your dodge, gives you more chance to adapt to what happens in front of you.
Every moment that goes by in this game, off the backboard, no exotic, having none of it. KC just look indomitable when it comes to their defense. But every moment that goes by in this game, Johnny, it just hurts more and more, reminding ourselves of the final 30 seconds of game 2. What could have been for Oxygen? How different this series could have looked. Right now, they're looking right down the line of a 4-match swing required if they are going to take out KC. Don't necessarily color me all that convinced.
It's amazing to witness what this team is doing. They are destroying one of the best teams in the world, and it's not just been because of the misplays. Yes, there have been some mistakes from Oxygen, especially in game 1. That backflip from Rise is a massive moment. You know, they've gone and outplayed them at times. They've had massive plays, 1v3 outplays, efficient trades every single game. And the follow-ups on each other's plays have been right up there with the best that we've seen from teams like Gen G, who are just able to synergize on a high level consistently. Yeah, that's really the only comparison right now. You know, Team Liquid are waiting in the final, but the only comparison to the dominance and the consistency that we see from Karmine Corp right now is Gen G. That's, I think, their rival. They're trying to one-up each other. And, you know, you don't need to believe me on that. You can go look at the players on their own social medias, their Twitter. They are trying to have the more impressive regional performance. And this is one of the most impressive semifinals that we've seen from Karmine Corp.
It's kind of ridiculous, and it will be up to the teams of the regions to change this narrative a little bit. But it kind of reminds me of, you know, when there's like a big fight in boxing or something, they have a tune-up match. So build up the hype, show off what they're capable of. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's what I managed to
you can't call Oxygen a tune-up match. That's so hard. I know what you mean.
Doing to them, though.
It does look like that, though. You're not wrong. It really does look like a mismatch
how about
here.
Mandatory defense.
It does look like a total mismatch, but yeah, it's not just the efficiency to get, you know, get the tight wins, get the close wins, the 3-2s, the 1-0s that often happen in these situations. The fact that we've seen a blowout right after a timeout. This is not normal. This shouldn't happen, but it has happened because Karmine Corp are just that good. And another great team performance across the board. They are just undeniable right now. The only question is if Oxygen right now can get a game. They need to take it one game at a time. They need to play a flawless game if they're going to get a win here at all. No mistakes allowed. And, you know, they've got to start just enjoying the situation like Karmine Corp are, because I can't imagine they're having a lot of fun right now. These three players, I know them all very well. And I know that they are all susceptible to getting a little bit tilted when things are going against them, when things aren't going their way. They've got to put all that aside right now, just, you know, try and play their best, because it's a long way back. Just focus on one game. Forget about the series. Just one game. You know, press to one. Let's see what we can do.
I mean, we talk about how short of a game Rocket League can really be and how quickly everything can turn on you. In about 5.5, 6 minutes of gameplay, Oxygen have gone from, oh, hey, we're 2-1 up, probably going to go and even this series up, to, oh, we've lost that one, we've seen that one thrown away, and we've been destroyed in game 3 after our timeout.
Yeah.
It comes at you fast.
Yeah, and a couple of games so far this series have been 3 goal differences. 3-0 in game 1, 4-1 in game 3. First, that 1 goal difference in the game in between. Oh, early start though for Oxygen. That's the miss from KC. As you can hear by our talking points before this happened, we don't expect that. That's not something we've come to expect from Karmine Corp, given what they've been able to do today. But well played. Oxygen on the board early.
Exactly what they needed, as you mentioned, one step at a time for Oxygen. Many steps required. Archie already up, playing with positivity, just couldn't get below the goal again. And they're just plummeting the ball back into the ground. Vatira with time to work with. Not necessarily a sentence that anybody wants to hear.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness, he's just taking so much time. And to Oxygen, they don't want to go and meet them in the midfield.
Just so calm, just taking all the time in the world there because there's no rush, no player to immediately outplay, so why hit the ball away? Just Karmine Corp keeping control. This is still going to be interesting to see how Oxygen produce goals here. They've got another one, and it's another outplay. So 2 times now, they have been able to get that last little touch on the ball that Karmine Corp weren't expecting. Rise knocking it over 2, and Archie is there for the finish. Yeah, definitely a little bit of a messier Karmine Corp start in Game 4.
Oxygen, just more of that. Need this and at least one more before we start believing. And even this is still not done.
There you go.
Vatira, off the backboard play, just lands in the perfect spot, turns it in, and that lead is halved.
Yeah, Vatira and just an Exotic just too fast there. Jorius was trying to get behind the ball in the back corner. He was trying to guide it clear. And he just got it immediately intercepted, just stolen from right under his nose. And Exotic at the follow-up as well in the blink of an eye. You know, this is how efficient and how effective Karmine Corp have been today. You just give them the smallest win, the smallest look at net, and it's in the goal.
Archie, only as far as Archie, with Exotic waiting. You can see the positioning that KC go for. They don't immediately scramble to get back. Offering the passing option. Rise, first touch let him down. He couldn't get the reset. Off the backboard, Jorius has to make it. Oxygen are in no more mistakes allowed territory. Everything from here on out has to be perfect. And if they do end up doing this, and as I've mentioned a few times now, still very far away, they will make history as the team that kind of just did the impossible. Archie off the demo, got a bit of time to work with. That's not going to go in. Difficult shot to play for. Would have preferred to see it bounce any other way.
Oh, that's not the best read by Rise there. He had a tougher read on the crossbar. Vatira's picked one, 50-2, and it is a tie game. And just like that, Karmine Corp are back. What a mind game by Vatira. Completely nullifies the clear ball as well. Well, you know, Oxygen have tried their best here, but it just seems inevitable that Karmine Corp are going to win.
Every single time we get those kind of plays, KC are there to meet it. They seem to read the game that little bit quicker. Vatira already up. Is that just going to drop it? Actually, to meet it.
Oh, it's over.
He's got the brace. And that may be the heart of Oxygen's comeback completely crushed.
It's just another Vatira 50-50 to set up a goal. This time denying Jorius the clear and leaving it wide open for Itachi, but yeah, before that, we saw a panic flip from Archie not long ago. Oxygen are definitely feeling the pressure right now. Karmine Corp continue to just plow on. You know, the only thing they hadn't done before this game, this series, was come back from behind. Now they've done that as well. So they've just had the complete series at the moment.
I think it's at the point where we're sort of reaching now when it comes to finding ways that teams can beat KC. So KC probably just said in their own little comms, all right, they're going to say this. Maybe this is the way. Let's just do this now so that way we can get that complaint out as well. For Liquid, they do away. They are in the form of their lives. Based on what we've seen here, Johnny, they're going to have to be.
Yeah, Liquid have also gone on a very impressive run to make it into the final. I think that they definitely have a chance. They've beaten Karmine Corp in a grand final before this season. And it was more recently than Oxygen's win against Karmine Corp in the playoffs. Karmine Corp they've just got such a menacing look about them today. Such a confident confidence not only in themselves but in each other. The amount of times I've seen a 50-50 drop down and then a Karmine Corp player be ready for it is kind of mind-blowing. They're believing in each other's ability to win 50-50s now, which
there's a team
I guess
that,
shows you how
I
confident
remember
they are.
saying that a lot about as there goes yet another one. Hat-trick for Itachi. Very much deserves it. But whenever we talk about world-class teams in modern Rocket League, that seems to be the common thread, the instant follows on everything, that level of trust. And it's a level of trust that you only really get mostly by going on runs like this, when the big problems, when losing is almost, not seen. And right now, that is the position that KC have found themselves in.
Oh, hello.
Oh, okay. Well, probably the only double tap that KC have missed today.
Oh, he made that very hard for himself, but he's managed to double it wide. Well played to recover that very awkward situation, Exotic. And yeah, it does just continue to look like Karmine Corp's game. Oh, hold that thought. Okay, chances there. Oxygen finally capitalized on a missed rotation from Karmine Corp. Nice positioning from Archie to give Jorius the option. And that did actually come off a Karmine Corp player on his way to him. So he had to react quickly. But they need to think of a good kickoff strategy to get possession. They've lost the majority of possessions off kickoffs today. They're going to try and deflect this one back right. Jorius is there for it, but he gets dunked on by Exotic. Already Karmine Corp are in the mix in the midfield.
Oh, demo, and Archie's going to go hunting for Exotic. It should be back in.
Oh my.
What a play. Exotic. Nowhere to be found for the demo. Everywhere to be found when it came to defensive duties.
Unbelievable by Exotic. He's in a 1v3 there. He's got to cover the pass. He's got to cover the shot. He's got to dodge the demo. He did all three at the same time. And there's no way Rise is keeping this up. He gets dunked on. And that is game over. 2 straight before the timeout, 2 straight afterwards. Karmine Corp are just too good. Oxygen could not compete with them mentally. They could not compete with them on the pitch. And they just got outplayed pretty much every single way today. Back to the drawing board for them. For Karmine Corp, it's another grand final. 5 straight regional grand finals. That's an unfathomable accomplishment in the European region.
We had a lobby remake, and we're still only an hour and a half into today's broadcast, Johnny. That is how fast we seem to be going. Oh, wow. I put 4-3 for both of the semi-finals today.
I had 4-3 for this one as well. It looked like it might be a smart call after the 2-1 lead for Oxygen materialized on Forbidden Temple.
I mean, at least we still picked KC. I do believe a Chronic went Oxygen.
Did he?
If I remember.
I actually am not sure. I can't remember. Maybe checking out that one. But
I know he had the interview, a very good interview as well. But for KC, they do have Team Liquid waiting in the wings, and it was an impressive victory from Team Liquid. It was a destructive victory from Oxygen, and we'll get to see these two teams in the grand finals when we come back.